everyone, Miss Katrina here.
And Miss Sam.
Welcome to Summer Streaming Series, a show where we watch the first episode of an old teen TV series and talk about it.
We will discuss the first episode, make predictions if we've never seen it, and tell you why you should or shouldn't watch it.
Everything we watch you can find online, so get ready to start your next binge watch. Hey everyone, it's Miss Katrina.
And Miss Sam.
Today we are here to talk to you about the show Supernatural.
It ran from 2005 and it is actually still on. It was supposed to end this year, but obviously that did not happen.
Okay. So it's been on a long time, which I was really shocked about, and the fact that I've never seen it.
Neither have I. I mean, I think I've seen episodes here and there, but I've never actually sat down and watched, like, in order.
Never seen it at all, not even a little bit. So this was a doozy, let me tell you. So it starts off with there is a baby in a crib. Some weird spooky stuff is happening. There's a dude over the baby's crib that the mom doesn't notice.
No, she notices him, but she thinks it's the dad.
Oh, okay.
So she sees just an outline of a man standing by the crib, and then she goes downstairs and sees the husband passed out.
Oh, and then she realizes.
And she runs up the stairs, and then she screams.
She screams, and then they go up there, and the mom is now stuck to the ceiling and bleeding, and then somehow gets set on fire.
Yep. And the house burns down.
The dad and the older kid escape, and the baby. They all escape except the mom, who is clearly dead at this point. I thought the dad was gonna die when that fire exploded. I was like, oh no, the dad's gonna die, and they're orphans. But no, the dad makes it out somehow. So Good for him, I guess. And then we fast forward to the two kids are adults.
Yeah.
Sam is the dude from the Gilmore Girls. Immediately I realized that, and he's the baby, and he's at Stanford, and he's going to be a lawyer.
Yep.
He has a girlfriend named Jessica, who, I don't know if you ever watched the show The Orville. She's like the one.
No, I've never seen it.
She's like the guy's like ex-wife in The Orville, so clearly older. So that's his girlfriend, and they're just like living life at Stanford. He's enjoying himself.
He's going to school. He's going to be a lawyer. He took the LSAT.
And he had his interview for law school coming up on the next Monday.
Yep.
And then he sees a dude in his house. He fights him, and it ends up that it's his brother Dean, who then proceeds to hit on Sam's girlfriend. Yep. So that kind of sets us up for Dean being like kind of like a sleazeball, but like a loving sleazeball. Like we like him. He's not terrible, but he's still like a little.
And the show they're adults. Well, not adults. They're older.
Yeah. They're like college age. Except Dean is like an adult, right?
He's like 26, the other one's 22, 23.
Okay. So like they're sort of
at this point now in the show, they're our age.
Yeah, which is intense.
Because it's been on so long.
No, they're gonna be older than us at this point.
Yeah.
If he's 23, almost the younger one's like 40. Oh. That's intense. Okay, so the brother Dean shows up and says that their dad is on a hunting trip, which I'm gonna suspect is not a hunting trip,
no.
Because he kind of like sends his girlfriend away at that point, so it makes me think that they're a little bit lying. Which we find out that he is sort of on a hunting trip,
but not like a deer.
No, like a demon.
Like it's some demons and ghosts.
Yeah, just like a normal hunting trip.
A normal weekend hunting trip.
Sam says that he's done hunting for good, which makes me think that he's not. Because like whenever you make a blanket statement like that, like I'm never going back.
And also we would have no show.
Yeah, then there'd be no show. Like if he
obviously something's going to happen.
Dean also says, of course you should be afraid of the dark, which I thought was a little scary, honestly, because no one needs to tell me that because the dark is scary to begin with. So thanks for ruining everything for me, Dean. They also have never found the thing that killed their mom. So apparently they're just trying to kill everything bad until they find it.
And the dad just went on a
rampage
since the mom's death to try to find the demon who killed her.
Demon, ghost, I don't know, whatever. Supernatural, whatever supernatural
I'm thinking
being.
It's a demon. That's where I think we're going with this.
You think it's gonna be a demon?
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. They go to find the dad, and we find out that Dean has an arsenal of weapons in his trunk, which like I feel like might be a bad life choice because if the cops search your car, how are you gonna explain?
I mean, they're like hidden, so we had to like pull something up, and then they were there. Like,
yeah, I feel like it's really not that well hidden. Let's be honest, guys. Meanwhile, after we find out all this information on Sam and Dean, we are in Jericho, California, where some other weird, spooky stuff is happening. Some dude, who we later find out his name is Troy, picks up a lady in a weird dress. First of all, let's just discuss the fact that he sees some weird-looking lady in a weird, old-fashioned dress hanging out by the side of the woods, and he's like, oh, why don't you get in my car?
Yeah. At this point, I scared myself because I decided to watch this at 10 o'clock at night in my dark room, as you do. I wasn't really expecting to be scared.
Yeah, I also, it was a little scary. This scene in particular, I was like, this shit's a little bit
And then she was kind of going in and out of focus, so you obviously knew she was a ghost.
Yeah, she was clearly not a person, but he did not notice, and he decides like, oh, I'll just take her to her house, because that's where you go. And then they show up, it's an old spooky house, and he still seems kind of cool with the situation.
He's like, yeah, I'm all for this. And in my head, I'm like, that's where, I mean, I would run before I even let her into my car.
I mean, that was clearly a haunted house. Like, if I would have just been on a normal day walking past that house, I would have been like, oh, I'm not going in there. Clearly, that's where ghosts live.
And she just kept on saying she couldn't go home. So obviously we're setting up for something not good.
No.
For poor Troy.
So she then disappears, and then he goes into the clearly haunted house to look for her. Like, at that point, she disappears, I'd just call it a loss and go home. Why are you going in the house? Troy, what's your problem?
Troy was dumb.
Troy was definitely dumb. So he's in the house, something jumps up at him, and he drives away.
Then we turn to the back seat, and
like, it had to take something jumping out of the house for him to leave. Cool. So then we're in the back seat, and she's there.
This is where I proceed to jump because I was not expecting her, and she...
You didn't expect the ghost to just show up out of nowhere?
But like at the same time, like I still jumped because
you were. I mean, I was like, she's gonna show up in that car.
And then blood splatters all over the car. They're on this bridge.
And we assume that Troy is R.I.P. dead because, I mean, how do you survive that? She's clearly a ghost. So we flash back to Sam and Dean, who are now on the road, and they have cassette tapes. Oof, cassette tapes, man. Even in 2005, cassette tapes were not still a thing.
I think that's why Sam made fun of him.
But that would be like you going in your mom's car and, like, finding CDs. Yeah. Like, it's the same kind of situation. They do end up coming across the crime scene, R.I.P. Troy, and Dean has some sort of fake federal marshal and FBI badges.
He had a whole arsenal of fake
badges
to trick the police, I guess.
They get there, they pretend to be FBI agents federal marshals, and they find out that the victims were all men. It was here where they made an X-Files joke where they called them Mulder and Scully, which honestly I was like, maybe I didn't give the show enough chances because I love the X-Files. So I was like, okay, like, you kind of got me on this one. So they are doing some recon in the town. They find some girls who look like they're sort of goths, but not really goths.
One of them is Troy's girlfriend.
Okay.
Who was hanging up flyers.
Maybe that's why he was like all about the ghost. Because he was like, oh, my girlfriend's a goth. It's kind of like a ghost.
And the girlfriend's also the daughter of the police
captain. Yes.
Dude.
So they tell them the legend of the woman who died, which of course there's a legend.
Of course, there's always a legend.
Why would there not be? Apparently in 1981, Constance Welch jumped off a bridge after she drowned her kids, which, like, ooh, a little rough for you, Constance. Like a rough day she had going on.
So then we later check into a motel where they find out that their father was there, and they get into his room, and he has some Criminal Minds type boards on his wall. Yes, which I was a little okay. He diagnosed what kind of ghost it was, which was a woman in white, which is apparently a thing.
So apparently the woman in white happens when a man cheats on his wife and she goes crazy and kills people and then becomes a ghost and haunts people and then always goes after cheating men. Which, like, honestly, like, you do you, girl.
There's legends of women in white here.
Like, you know, like, can we fault her for what she's doing? Like, I kind of was on the ghost side for a second.
But then you remember that she drowned her kids.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Then you can't be on her
side.
That's
true. So, like, okay, she's bad. I get it. We also see... Oh, Sam and Dean then drive to the bridge, and they see her. She jumps off the bridge, and she kind of chases them.
Their car.
Drives
Dean's car.
She drives the car, chases them off the bridge, and they jump and fall off the bridge. Well, one does, the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
But they survive, so, I mean, that's great.
Setting up the show for the rest of the 20 seasons.
We also find out, in their dad's notebook, it says Dean 35111, which we never really found out what that meant, which I feel like might come back.
I'm sure it has to, because the notebook obviously is important, because...
And he lies and says it's his locker combination, which there is no 111 locker combination. Like, any cop would have been like, excuse me, sir.
Well, obviously.
These cops are not good.
They're not. They don't know what's going on.
So then they're also driving, and she shows up in Sam's car. So Sam drives her to her old house. She then kisses him and tries to kill him, which, those things clearly go back to back.
Yeah. That is where Dean realizes that that they don't have to burn her body to get rid of her. They have to get her into the house, because that's whatever it is.
Yeah, he does shoot her, though, before that. So he shows up and shoots her, and she disappears, because you can apparently shoot a ghost, which I didn't... Okay, cool. So Sam does drive the car into the house with her in it, to get her, home. She ends up seeing her kids' pictures, and then...
The creepy children appear.
The ghost children appear.
And then they envelop her, and it looks like they go down into the ground.
It's like goo. There's sort of weird floor goo, which I was kind of confused. Is that the water?
I think it was water dripping down because she drowned them.
But it also was some weird thing going on. I guess that's what happens. You just become goo when you die.
When you're a ghost, I don't know.
When the ghost dies, it becomes goo. I guess.
Maybe.
Good to know. So at this point, we think our adventure is over, but Sam goes back to Stanford. He is like, I gotta go home and go to my lawyer interview because I gotta be a lawyer. He then goes into his bedroom. He sees his girlfriend on the ceiling.
Well,
just
he calls her.
Oh, yeah.
And he lays down, and then blood drips on his face.
Just like the mom, just like the same situation with the dad. He sees her on the ceiling, and the place goes on fire.
And then he runs out, and Dean is still there. Dean pulls him out of the building.
Mm-hmm. He throws the gun in the car and says they have more work to do. So clearly the adventures are going to continue.
Obviously, in my opinion, Sam is the common denominator on what this demon creature wants.
Oh, that's true. Because the demon was over him. They don't care about the older one.
So obviously there's something with Sam that the demon wants.
Okay.
Because it killed the mom when she saw him, and then it killed the girlfriend when he wasn't home. Mm-hmm. But obviously he just killed her because she was on the ceiling still alive.
Okay.
And then went up in flames.
So this demon is just almost gets caught. He's by the skin of his teeth getting away with it.
Yeah, I don't know if he's searching for Sam or sending a message I'm coming for you. Because we don't know what demon it is yet.
I have no idea. I have never seen the show, and you've never seen the show.
Yeah.
So let's make some predictions, right? Okay, Miss Sam, you're going to go first.
I'm going to go first? Okay. So I feel like we're going to spend all season looking for the dad. Yeah. I don't know how many seasons we're going to spend looking for the dad.
Probably three. I'm going with three. Go with three.
I feel like that's what's going to happen. We're going to hunt different creatures and ghosts and whatever each episode. We're going to go to different places, and we're slowly going to unravel the story behind the demon person who's creepily sitting over the baby's crib. Mm-hmm. I feel like when they're gonna find the dad, and then the dad's gonna die.
Immediately find him?
Or maybe he'll live a little bit, but I feel like the dad's just gonna die.
Okay. Well, I feel like the thing that kind of unites them is that the dad is missing.
Yeah.
So if the dad comes back, they don't really need to be hanging out with each other as much. So there can't be a dad.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like they're gonna look for the dad for a couple seasons, and then they're gonna find him, and then the dad's gonna die, and then they're gonna seek revenge.
Okay, I can see that happening.
Because now they're just in too deep.
Okay.
Now we're hunting demons for real.
Yeah. Now they're it's personal. I agree. I feel like they're definitely going to hunt the dad for a couple seasons. I feel though, Sam's mom was doing, sketchy things, and, Sam's, a half-demon baby. Maybe. Or, Satan's his dad, kind of like Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And that's why, they're looking for him, because he's, heir to, the Satan throne. So I'm going that way, that he's, half... some sort of special being.
Yeah.
Percy Jackson, if it was, demons instead of Greek gods.
Yeah, and, killing people.
Yeah, there was, a lot more murder monsters. So I'm gonna go with that. I think that, again, same thing, very similar to the X-Files. I think that's kind of, why they called it back, because it is going to be, one big search while there's, little episodes going on throughout. And then once the dad ends up RIPing, he's gonna go. kind of figured that out.
Well, because he goes on to a different show, so obviously...
Oh, so he's clearly gotta. But once that dad leaves, then they're definitely gonna have like some other mystery to try to figure out. Like someone else who's like dear to them, probably like a girlfriend's gonna disappear.
Again, yeah.
And then they're gonna search for them again.
Yeah.
So I was told that this show was only supposed to have 5 seasons.
Yeah.
So Miss Margaret, who works here, was telling me that it's only supposed to have 5 seasons, but they were gonna end after 5 seasons, but people were very upset. So they ended up doing it for 15, and this is going to be the actual last season.
It was supposed to end this year.
Yeah, but the COVID kind of put everything on hold. So there's only a couple episodes left, I was told.
So they'll probably do like a half season.
And then like bring it up again. Yeah, I could see that happening. So let's talk about if you should or should not watch Supernatural. Miss Sam, you're
go first. Okay, I'm gonna say you should watch it. I like scary things, so I think I'm going to continue watching it. Obviously not in the dark room by myself. Maybe like when the lights are on. Just so I don't creep myself out that I'm gonna get murdered by a demon ghost creature. But I think you should watch it, especially if you like horror, scary things. Because it's not too scary, but it gives you a nice little thrill.
So I kind of like the first episode. I feel like though there are like way better like supernatural, not to use the term, shows out there than Supernatural. If you really want to go like some classic stuff, go for the X-Files, watch some Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like there's definitely some stuff out there that seems to be like executed like way better than Supernatural. Again, people like it. It's been going on for a long time, so it's clearly pretty good. But I feel like there's like better options. Like maybe if you've exhausted all those other options, move on to Supernatural. But I feel like there's other stuff you should watch first before you watch Supernatural. So I'm going with like watch it if you have nothing else like scary or demony to watch.
Hi everyone, we're back, and we want to let you know that next week we're going to be watching Step by Step.
Oh, I can't wait for this one.
I don't even know what this is.
It's gonna be rough, guys.
I don't know what this is.